The city was like a symphony, alive and breathing, made up of countless notes and rhythms that gave it its unique character. Car horns, laughter, and the beat of music filled the air, creating a melody that was both chaotic and harmonious, yet oddly comforting. Life buzzed in every corner, a vibrant mix of sounds that told the stories of millions, each one adding to the city's rich narrative. People rushed by, their faces showing the day's worries and joys, each expression a note in the grand symphony of the city, adding to its ever-changing score. Conversations flowed like a river, carrying dreams and anxieties, hopes and fears, blending into the background hum of urban life, creating a continuous dialogue. It was a world alive with noise, a testament to the human experience, where every sound told a story, every noise had a meaning, and every moment mattered. Children's laughter echoed through parks, a chorus of pure joy that added a light-hearted note to the city's complex symphony, a reminder of innocence. Birds sang their hearts out, greeting the rising sun with melodies that marked the start of a new day, a fresh beginning. The world was a stage, and every sound played its part, contributing to the grand performance that was life itself, a never-ending concert. We were immersed in this ocean of sound, often barely noticing the richness of its tapestry, the intricate details that made up the whole, yet always present. Life was a symphony, played out in every breath, every footstep, every word spoken, a continuous performance that never stopped, always evolving, always alive. Even in the quietest alleyways the symphony continued, with the soft rustle of leaves and distant murmurs adding to the city's ever-present soundtrack, a gentle undertone. As night fell, the city's song changed, becoming a lullaby of distant sirens, soft conversations, and the gentle hum of streetlights, a soothing end to the day. Through it all we found our own rhythms, our personal soundtracks that helped us navigate the symphony of life, each note a reflection of our inner worlds, our personal journeys. And as the sun rose again, the city woke up, ready to compose another day of its endless, beautiful symphony, a new chapter in its ongoing story. Daniel hurried through the crowded streets, the city's symphony a familiar hum. He was late, as always, his mind lost in the day's worries. Then it happened. A silence, sudden and absolute, descended upon the world. The city that never slept stilled. The music stopped. Conversations died mid-sentence. The only sound was the whisper of the wind, a lonely sigh in the stillness. Daniel stopped, a cold knot forming in his stomach. He looked around, his heart pounding against his ribs. The world held its breath, waiting. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. The passage of time felt both swift and sluggish, a paradox of our new reality, a reality we had to adapt to. The initial panic subsided, replaced by an unsettling quiet. The streets, once bustling with life, now lay dormant, echoing the stillness that had settled over our hearts and minds. The city, once a whirlwind of noise, was now a ghost of its former self. The cacophony of daily life had vanished, leaving behind an eerie silence that was both alien and profound, almost surreal. People moved like shadows, their faces etched with uncertainty. The familiar rhythms of our lives had been disrupted, replaced by a strange new normal that we struggled to understand. The world without sound was a foreign land, and we were strangers in its midst. We had to learn to navigate this new terrain where the absence of noise was as loud as any sound we had ever heard. Yet in the silence, something unexpected happened. We began to notice the small things, the details that had been drowned out by the constant din of our previous lives now coming into focus. We began to listen, really listen, not just to the sounds that remained, but to the absence of sound, to the quiet moments that spoke volumes, louder than words, not just to the words, but to the silences between them. We found meaning in the pauses, in the spaces where words once were, discovering a new form of communication. We learned to read the language of the eyes, the tilt of a head, the gentle touch of a hand. These subtle cues became our new form of communication, rich with unspoken understanding and empathy. Connections deepened, forged in the crucible of shared silence. In this newfound quiet, we discovered a deeper sense of harmony, a connection that transcended words and touched our souls. Section 4. A symphony of whispers. Without the barrier of sound, emotions became palpable. A smile spoke volumes. A furrowed brow conveyed concern more effectively than words ever could. We discovered the power of touch, a gentle hand on a shoulder, speaking of comfort and understanding. The world had become a silent film, and we were all actors on its stage. We learned to communicate through sign language, a graceful dance of hands and expressions. We wrote messages on dusty windows, sharing our fears and hopes. We gathered in parks, not to speak, but to simply be, to find solace in the shared silence. Section 5. The first note of dawn. One morning a sound pierced the silence. A single bird perched atop a building sang its heart out. The sound, so familiar yet so alien, stopped the world in its tracks. People emerged from their homes, drawn to the melody like moths to a flame. The bird's song was a beacon of hope, a promise of normalcy returning. As its song faded, a profound silence descended once more, but it was different now. It was the silence of anticipation, of a world holding its breath, waiting for the music to resume. Section 6, A World Rediscovered. Slowly, tentatively, sound returned. The rumble of a distant truck, the joyful bark of a dog, the melodic laughter of children playing. Each sound was a gift, a treasure to be savoured. The world had been reborn, and we, its inhabitants, were forever changed. We had learned to listen, truly listen, not just with our ears, but with our hearts. We had discovered the beauty of silence, the power of non-verbal communication, the importance of human connection. The world was noisier now, but we heard it differently. Section 7. Echoes of the Past. As we embraced the newfound stillness, we couldn't help but reflect on the world that once was. The bustling streets, the constant chatter, the ceaseless rush, all seemed like distant memories, echoes of a past life. We remembered the days when noise was synonymous with life, when silence was rare and often uncomfortable. But now, in this transformed world, those memories served as a poignant reminder of how far we had come. The silence had given us a chance to look back, to understand the value of what we had lost and gained. It was a time for introspection, for appreciating the simple joys that had once been drowned out by the cacophony, the laughter of a loved one, the rustling of leaves, the gentle patter of rain. These sounds, once taken for granted, now held profound significance. We realized that our journey into silence had not just been about the absence of noise, but about finding a deeper connection with our surroundings and with each other. It was a rediscovery of the beauty that lies in every sound, every moment. The echoes of the past had taught us to cherish the present, to live more mindfully, and to listen with our hearts. Thank you for watching The Day the World Went Silent, an animated journey. We hope you enjoyed this emotional and dramatic experience. Please like, share, and subscribe for more content. Section 7, The Sound of Silence. Life had returned to its familiar rhythm, yet a profound shift had occurred. The once incessant noise of the city, the constant hum of activity, had given way to a newfound stillness. It was as if the world had taken a collective breath, pausing to reflect on the essence of existence. The streets, though still bustling, now carried an undercurrent of tranquility, a subtle reminder of the silence we had all experienced. This silence was not just an absence of sound, but a presence of peace. We carried the silence within us, a reminder to slow down, to appreciate the symphony of life unfolding around us. Each step we took was more deliberate, each moment more cherished. The rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the gentle whisper of the wind. These sounds, once drowned out by the cacophony of daily life, now resonated deeply within us. We had become attuned to the subtle melodies of the world, finding beauty in the quietest of moments. It was as if we had discovered a new dimension of existence. We had learned that sometimes the most profound truths are spoken in the quiet spaces between the notes. In those pauses we found clarity and understanding. The silence was not empty. It was filled with meaning, with the echoes of our thoughts and the whispers of our hearts. It was in these moments of stillness that we truly connected with ourselves and with each other. The silence became a canvas for our inner voices. The world was no longer a backdrop to our busy lives, but a tapestry of sound, each thread woven with meaning and beauty. Every sound, every silence was a part of this intricate design. We began to see the world not just with our eyes, but with our ears and our hearts. The rhythm of life had changed, and we had changed with it, finding harmony in the balance between sound and silence. This new awareness brought a sense of fulfillment. We had learned to listen, not just with our ears, but with our souls. This deeper listening allowed us to hear the unspoken, to feel the emotions and intentions behind the words. It was a skill that brought us closer to each other, fostering empathy and understanding. In the silence, we found a new way to communicate, one that transcended words and touched the very core of our being. It was a revelation that changed our interactions. And in that listening, we discovered a depth of connection we never knew existed. It was a connection that went beyond the superficial, reaching into the depths of our souls. We realized that true communication is not just about speaking, but about listening, truly listening. And in that profound silence, we found a sense of peace and unity that had been missing from our lives. The sound of silence had become the soundtrack of our existence, guiding us towards a more mindful and connected way of living. This journey into silence was transformative.